The Apostle Paul, in his writings to the Corinthian church, was explaining to them about the speaking in tongues and how that it's important that when this ministry takes place in the church, that people understand the message of God that's coming forth through this ministry. But this is really not a message about speaking in tongues. It's a message about communication. So listen to the text, 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 8. For if the trumpet give an uncertain sound, who shall prepare himself to the battle? Now, what's interesting to me here is he's using the trumpet as a part of his illustration. And of course, throughout history, the trumpet or the bugle has been a very instrumental part of communication, especially in the days before our modern forms of communication, before there were such things as cell phones and tablets and even public address systems, microphones, and all these things that we have now we take for granted. The ability to put a drone up in the sky to be able to survey what's going on down below and using that as a form of communication. All of that, of course, wasn't around all these years ago. So when armies would go to battle, they would use bugles or they would use trumpets to be able to display the different messages that would go to the different generals and to the different armies as to where they should go and how the movements and all of this had to do with preparing for battle. And it's quite a complicated thing. It's interesting enough, there was a General Daniel Butterfield in the Civil War. He said, well, with all these different armies moving around and all these trumpets, how are you going to be able to figure out who's doing what? And so for his army, he created a whole new form. And today we call that taps. But it's just, the point is in order to be able to communicate in such a way that you would be victorious in a battle. Well, I take that same analogy and I would say to every Christian believer that yes, we are in a battle. We are in a spiritual battle, a battle for the souls of mankind and the souls for the battle for humanity. But I would even go further than that I believe that the world itself is in a battle for freedom. Now, as citizens of the United States of America, we proudly talk about freedom and how that we are a country that is free. That's been the very foundation of our founding. But we're not the only country in the world that wants to be free. Wants to be free of a government that's tyrannical, that wants to control, wants to cause people to be under the spell or the dominion of certain people. No, there's a yearning throughout the world to be free. And the message of freedom has to come forth. And that's why I'm taking this week just to talk about the importance of communicating properly the message. It's Pastor Jack King with the gospel, the radio broadcast.